last night at the reception. But many people in this room have been using social media since long before it was social or social media. In fact, a couple of years ago, if you were here at Gnomedex9, we talked about it as new media. It's the same thing, right? And in trying to identify a keynote, I really like reaching within the community, especially if there are voices within the community. And Chris Brogan has been coming to Gnomedex, he's for 3 years? Wow. This is your third. I thought it was 2 years before, so that makes 3. Oh, right. Yes, math is very hard for me, very difficult. When I reached out to Chris to ask if he would be interested in really getting the conference going, help setting the tone, he said, I'm already there, dude. So without further ado, Chris Brogan.
You can't be a Mac owner and not worry about power. I'm not joking. Why? That's terrible. I'd really like to bring up on stage my co-author, Mr. Julien Smith, who wrote the book with me. Please a hand for Julien Smith. Warren, I had only one piece of advice. Everyone was so jazzed about what you were saying. Start with your Twitter handle, because, man, did they want to talk about you. And so I saw a lot of people on Google search and Twitter search trying to figure out what the hell your name was. The Warren Report, ladies and gentlemen. Who here is a first-timer to Gnomedex?
Oh my God.
I did not expect that. I really didn't expect that.
It's amazing.
Whoa. This is a tight-knit group. These people breathe Gnomedex even in between Gnomedex. It's really one of my top 3 favorite conferences of the year. I wouldn't say my favorite, but that would alienate 2 other people. Please, the new people, get to know everyone, because this is truly, we were talking about this on the way over here this morning, and in one way it's kind of a weird thing to present. And Julian, what was you said it better than I did this morning on the way over.
Did I? What did I say?
Just this is the fact that they are.
Oh yeah, no, it's because we talk about this this book that we wrote over a period of the past 12 or 18 months or whatever.
I skipped it.
The person on the right is me, and the person on the left is Chris. No, but because most of the time when we do this, we do it in front of a group of people that may not, they understand certain parts of it, and certain parts are new to them. But the difference with you guys is that you guys are the model for everything that we worked on. And so, in a way, we just basically, we analyze the success and everything that you guys have done, and the way that you've presented it, and the way that you've been inventing the space as it's been going, and we just took that and went, well, it's working, So I mean, that's it. You were the guys, and we want to thank you, I guess, because you did it for us.
We wrote the book based on what you know, and truly, it'll feel like you wrote the book when you get through it, and you probably would have used different sentences in different parts. I apologize. Because there's been, and this is not a pitch for the book. That was the other thing we were pitifully worried about, is that we make this seem like a pitch for the book. We don't care if you buy the book. We'd love for you to buy 20 or 200, but don't. Really, what we want is we want to just sort of impart the ideas of why we did this for the last bunch of years. So Julian came up with the idea of making a For Dummies.
So every For Dummies book, I know you guys haven't read any. Nobody here has. But in the beginning of the Dummies books, I admit that I've read a lot of them. And they always have a cheat sheet. So we're going to give you a little cheat sheet. This is the information that you need. If you want, you can actually just write this down on your laptop or whatever, and then you can stop paying attention and go back to Twitter, guys.
Right.
It's totally fine with me.
Oh.
I don't care.
That's a funny, the other thing we try to do in other events, and it's hilarious because this event, you don't have to say it, is please tweet, please answer your phone, please talk loudly with your neighbor. It's all good here. You guys already got that one down. But these are the 6 main points that we make, and the reason is, I think that this will help us frame the whole rest of the conversation. And so the goal is, in showing you this first, is you'll have an understanding of where we're going. We want to sort of lead you and bring you inside as soon as we can, which of course is a trust data move. So let's dig right in.
Yeah, I mean, Okay, the attention wars. This is. I mean, you guys understand this. You're bloggers. You're on Twitter. You understand how many people are going on Twitter or doing it every day. It's a war of attention. We only have 24 hours in a day. We can only really pay attention to one thing at a time, you know? And the difference is between the space that we were in 10 or 20 years ago and the space that we're in now is now everyone is a publisher. Everyone's doing everything, and they all want your attention. You're not only competing against, you know, the other person that's on Twitter in your niche doing the same thing, you're also competing with, you know, the new album that just came out last week from U2. You're also competing, you know, with the news, the 6 o'clock news. You're competing literally with everything in the world. And so that's just not, you know, everybody's using the old methods, and we're like, well, okay, how are we gonna, you know, what are the people that have broken through, what are they doing?
What are they doing? So I want to start with a joke. How many people with ADD does it take to change a light bulb? Let's ride bikes. This is Jeff Palmer's 140 conference. So it's kind of funny because I could ultimately take the same photo at the back of this room. But you see Jeff sitting on the stage because it was that kind of vibe. Underneath that bar is the people who do the Twitter for Mad Men. One of my favorite shows. But no, to Julian's point, this is like data coming at us at Jackson Pollock velocity. We are not, as Julian said, we are not competing with other media makers. We're competing with the entire damn world. There's just nothing but competition for attention. And so we've figured out, and Warren like kept keying us up. It was so perfect. We think that, you know, gathering awareness, gaining reputation, and earning trust is sort of the flow for that, the deal flow, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's when you look at awareness is the bare minimum. If you can get to that, you sometimes are happy. If you can move through the levels, eventually you get to trust, which is like every time that I go and I'm going through my RSS feeds, I stop and I go, this guy, I have to read that. You know? At that point, people go out of their way, pardon me, to go and go to seek out what it is that you're working on. If you can get to that level of trust, at that point, you kind of have what they call a carte blanche. You know, like a free, you know, a free card or whatever, to be able to just get straight through, past all the other stuff, and just straight into that person's attention, and that's really valuable.
Another problem we have with the attention wars is that once we gain attention, once we have awareness, reputation, and trust, there's a problem where it goes from empathy to entropy really fast. You know, you have that person like, yeah, I'm really into your thing. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, okay, let's ride bikes. This is true with causes. This is really true with causes. God, we gotta give to end hunger. Let's stop ending hunger. Let's do the chip-in thing. Let's give some money. Where am I? It's the nicest and most important causes in the world, right? But you get bored. You can't help it. This is Julian's equation. Like I said earlier, math is hard, but
Mary.
It's you.
Let's see. Well, I mean, to us, when we take about what trust is about, it's on a granular level, it's about social capital. Social capital is what creates bonds, like tight bonds between people. So in a tribe or in a neighborhood or something, the more people get together and play cards, and the more they, you know, get together, you know, and watch must-see TV or whatever on Friday, whatever it is, they get together and they create social capital. But the difference is when we're doing it on the web is that we create all of these values on paper. They're all written down because all of that interaction is happening on paper. So we find ourselves with more links, we find ourselves with more traffic. It creates social proof because then when strangers come in, they look at it and they go, oh, okay, these people are interacting. This guy must be at the center of a hub or something. And then that, at the end, creates a huge network, which is a massively powerful thing.
We're both trying to curb ourselves from cursing more, so that's why it's a big effing network.
Right.
It's